just as you have seen, how do we put our politicians on their toes, our political office holders on their toes, having been voted in? Mrs. Agbalu, how do we go from here, putting them on their toes, the voters, and not the elected officials? How do we put them on their toes?
Like I have always said it, that the issue of governance in Nigeria is the responsibility of both the citizen and the government. And citizen participation is very vital. If you don't participate in something, there's no way you can tell them, you can put them on their toes. If you are not close to them, like all the elected officials, they all have their offices in their local governments. That is one thing I want people to know. They have offices, they have the campaign offices at their official offices, even after election.
They call constituency office.
Their constituency, they have their constituency's office. So instead of staying online and be abusive or saying some other things, you go there and all the promises they have made, how far they have gone with it, about the projects. You should also know about wherever, any state you come from, or wherever you are living, wherever you are living,
and
you voted. You have the right to go to the constituency office to tell them that you said you are going to do this. Like you are going to tar our streets. Also, you are going to provide security. You are going to provide employment
or transformers.
You are going to improve on power generation and
water.
What have you done? What have you done about it? But a lot of people, they just when they go to that constituency office, what we discover they are doing is that they are asking money from the politicians. And once they are asking money from somebody, and they ask money to an extent that some, they will tell you that their wives just delivered, and because of that they want help from the politicians. You know, for legislators, they have their duty, and their number one duty is to make laws. Another duties they have is that they have oversight functions with every sector of the economy in the states, also at the national level. Their responsibility, you don't actually ask them what their responsibilities are. You don't begin to ask them, because how many people is the elective officer is going to give money, and also the government has not given him money to be dishing out to individual. So that is the problem we are having in Nigeria, and that is why people feel that they can't go near them. They don't have the patience. That's about it. Number two is that when we are voting, during elections, some people will confidently tell you that they don't want to go to the polling booth. They will stay in their houses because there will be fights. Whereas if you go there to vote, nobody is fighting you. So even we also need to be responsible, so that you can also put these people on their toe. And I expect the young people to have pressure group that can actually put that their voices can be heard. They can put their voice to the elective officers. They can hear it. For example, I want to cite an example. There was a campaign by the Ogun State governor. I think the campaign took off at Imeko. And at Imeko, I expect not only politicians, the indigenes of that area, the young people, I expect them to have pressure group that could come up, because the governor was available to listen to people and to do this is what we want. And the governor highlighted all the projects he's doing was there, and actually that is the project he did. So you can actually put these people on their toe, and they are ready to work. But when you have giving them the burden of your own personal problems, different from the general problem, then you are weakening your power. For example, it's not the responsibility of any legislator to start giving you money for food, money for.
So are you saying a group of youths, kind of like you said, pressure group, can just go to these offices and actually question them. But questioning them, what's the next step they take?
After they will listen to them, and the legislature will know that some people are actually, they know what they want, they're asking for this, so they will do something. And if they're having any challenges, they can also explain to them. Like if you are saying, like I want to start, because I'm in Ogun State, I can talk of where I am. Like when they are talking about projects at the local government level, I think it received emergency treatment from the government this time around, because they need to do infrastructures that people actually need. So, and they also listen to people. It's as a result of the complaint from the local people and the people in the environment let me puts the governor on his toes.
You are talking about putting the governor on his toe. This pressure group that my colleague just mentioned, I have an experience. One of the last dispensation, that's the last office that I went. One of them, a top guy in the government, asking, why are you people not listening to the people or delivering? And he said the people don't come to ask them. That rather than coming to ask them what they can do for the system, they are asking what they can do for them personally, as you have mentioned. Now, the pressure group, I know that if they escalate it, the governor or the legislature or even the president must come there to know. So that you see, some people, they just get into office, like one of the interviewers said, that they don't come till the next election cycle. Is that how it should be?
Like I don't before the election, that after the election, that they don't come to their constituency. I don't think. I don't agree with that. They just feel it's because people feel they are not. They also have the impact of the government they don't take note of. And all what they do is accusatory all the time.
Now I like the way you are going about it. You are talking as a politician who wants to cover your colleagues. Don't worry. What we know is that once these politicians get elected, they don't look back, and that's why you see roads even leading to their villages are not done. They are not constructed. If they go there regularly, they won't be going on those untarred roads. If they are going regularly, they will ensure that they empower their people. It is only during elections, coming in the eve of the election, that you see them buying mawa, grinding machine, and all this tokenism to them.
Excuse me, I don't want to like I come here, I'm not talking as a politician at all.
Then.
I'm a realist.
You are a realist. I'm an analyst.
I'm an analyst, and I say the truth. I say what I see.
Yes.
Let me tell you, the issue of infrastructure and road leading to them. Let us look at the legislature at the state level. What their roles and what their duties are. There are all these roads you are talking. There are some roads that belong to federal government.
I know.
There are roads that belong to the state.
Yes.
There are roads that belong to the local government.
Yes.
The local governments, they have their own function.
Yes.
The states, they have their own function, and the federal government have their own function. I think the people at the National Assembly, they go through a lot of problems to make sure that these projects are executed. They bring projects to their constituency.
Yes.
The Nigerian factor. Nigeria, we are growing, and I don't want us to look down at our democracy. I know that because of, like, I always tell people that don't forget that we have been left in the hands of the military for a very long time, and we are just starting our own. We are not starting again. We have reached the stage that we are now moving. If you look at it, people now, they put government on their toes, that they say the pressure groups, the youth, and also people in sectors, they also make sure government is doing something, and which government is doing.
Excuse me. I'm in charge here. You mentioned the private sector.
Yeah.
And that's one of the bane. you find out that the private sector, I don't want to mention specific areas, but I know that there are some areas that you see that is an industrial zone. Yes. And the government refuses or does not do anything in terms of infrastructure, both electricity and power. I live in the redemption camp, and we are powered by turbine. Okay. And I know a community can be powered by turbine, and where I'm going is what's the contribution of factories and industries in some areas, the taxes they pay. And to me, it's as if they are being given a short end of the stick, and you still want to insist that government and government officers are doing their best. Okay. With the amount of money that comes into their pockets for revenue and taxes.
Okay. Mr. Wale, the taxes you are talking about, unfortunately, I'm a tax consultant.
Yes.
The companies don't pay taxes as you expect.
So who is to blame? Government?
And the government is always going to them.
Because they are not providing services, so it does not encourage them to pay taxes. They can't see. So why will I pay for something I'm not seeing? So of course, I am a lawyer equally, and I work in that field too. Of course, they send some bills to those who are supposed to pay taxes, and we look at it, they take us to court, and we walk around it. That no.
But no, let us just, that is what the reason why I said about that taxes is that if you say the companies are paying taxes, they know the government itself know what they go through before they can collect 10% of what they are supposed to pay, because they also hide information. That's not what we have come here to discuss. What we have come here to discuss is that putting them on their toes. So if you want to put somebody on his toes, you also must do the right thing.
Well, actually they reported that there are some persons that have their constituency office outside, not even within where they are supposed to be, outside, somewhere like Abuja or just somewhere.
No, I'm talking from experience. I know what I'm saying. No serious legislator will have constituency office outside his constituency. Maybe what you are saying is that they have some aides that are with them in Abuja. You know, they used to have aides as soon as they are appointed. As soon as they are elected, they have aides. Some will be in Abuja, some will be at the local constituency offices. Maybe that's what you are saying. No.
There is no legislator that does not have a constituency office in this locality. And if you don't come home, they even come home, because if you don't come home, how do you think you can come back to come and ask? People will take you up.
Okay, talking about taking you up. You remember one popular senator, I don't want to mention his name. Okay. He represents Kogi State. In fact, it's the issue of his not having a constituency office that even caused his pin about to be recalled. Do you still remember that? So, and I have a plethora, I don't want to engage you on that. There are so many that I know. I say I saw it. It's unfortunate that the phone that I was using, when I saw it, it's not annexed. At least I went to school to read English a bit. And for a lawyer, you use English as your tools of trade. And if he says constituency office annexed, that's okay. But the constituency office is written that the only thing was that my phone that I took the picture of crashed. I will have just shown you now.
I know that that particular politician you are talking about, the issue is having with his people is not only the constituency office. I think it was controversial. I was always
but that constituency office is there.
What they have sent him there to do was not to represent them and do something. He was living his own life. I was creating problem. He was actually not, trying to cooperate with the people at the National Assembly so that he can bring something home. That was the problem he had with them.
Okay, I want to come from this angle now. Let's still talk about putting them on their toes. Now let's assume these pressure groups actually go there and they put pressure and put pressure and put pressure. And when the result is not still forthcoming, what is the way to go in order that these people must prove that they are accountable?
The way to go is that if there's a particular legislator, the pressure group say this is what you should do for your constituency, this is your promises before the primary, because the party and their neck take over the primary, as it is the party, the leaders, and also the people, the politicians at the world level, the people that will elect them to give them the ticket. That is the time the pressure group, when you see such a person putting up a poster, that is when the time you can come to the party secretariat to speak up about that person. We have seen that social candidate is also coming up the second time. He should not come because the promises he's made, he has not fulfilled it. That is the best time to do that, to come out, so that they will not give such a person another chance or another ticket.
Now, talking about this pressure group.
But what you will also see that this pressure group too, and if such a person can have a way of to corner them and ask them and give them something, the Nigerian factor. So you have to also be very careful.
So now let's talk about this pressure group. Please, can you advise our youths and people, not only youths, the elders, the middle class, all groups, even the organized private sector, how do they form themselves, group themselves together so as to have relevance in making themselves known to the system that they are putting
for example, organized private sector, they are too comfortable on their own. They feel comfortable.
Thank you, ma'am.
There's this complacent spirit in them. They feel that they don't need anything from the government.
Yes.
And they don't know that they are the ones that actually need something from the government, because they have factory, they are manufacturing. There are a lot of policy government can make that can actually assist their organization. So don't do that, and that's what they are supposed to be doing. But we discover that they are not doing it, and they just feel I'm okay, unconcerned. And everybody, the private sector, the young people, the women, the illiterates, the literates, those are the people that we need to come together. And you see, and also, like I always say that when I'm saying that participate in politics, it does not mean that you want to do an elective office.
We're about to round up this segment, madam. How do they form themselves so that they say, yes, these people, maybe they go, they make a public notice that we are going somewhere where the office holder will know that these people will not be taken for granted. How do they form themselves? 1 minute, because time is gone.
Their organization, so they can select people.
Yes.
The manufacturer can select
the youth.
The youth also can also form that.
The elders too, the men, the married women who feel the punch in the market when they get
in the market, so they can go to the constituency office and see what they are doing. For example, let me tell you something I noticed. When I travel, I don't go in my private cars. I board public transport.
Yes.
And I discovered there are a lot of things that the young people are doing. That if people can come together and go to MC Oluomo, a lot of changes will happen. But people will not do that.
It's all right then. Okay. We'll hang it there. We're going to bring it down when we come for the second